Hi, Dan Cooper. Welcome to another edition of Cooper's Cogitations. We're doing Exodus. In our last segment, we were talking about how the children of Israel were being oppressed and by the Egyptians. We said some of the children of Israel aided and abetted the Egyptians in the oppression of their brothers and sisters. Exodus 5, and the Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, and then in verse 10, the taskmasters of the people went out and their officers spake to the people that I will not give you straw. Verse 14, the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, wherefore have you not fulfilled your task in making brick, both yesterday, today, as heretofore? The officers of the children of Israel came and cried unto Pharaoh, wherefore dealest thou with thus with thy servants? You see, they went ahead and helped the Egyptians oppress their own race, their brothers and sisters. That's what happened to the Jews in World War II in Germany. And throughout history, and we could mention many today, who are oppressing their own people for money, power, or privilege. Simone de Beauvoir says, the oppressor would not be so strong if he did not have accomplices among the oppressed. So that's why we have a problem in America today. So many individuals who should be on the side of the Constitution, Christianity, claim they are, and they're fighting against it. We go further. The children of Israel departed from not having their own children. The government owned them and their families. Boys were young baby boys. Boys were thrown into the river. And listen, no man shall diminish anything of his daily labor, and the man who shall be found deficient in his labor, which he performs daily, whether in mortar or bricks, then his youngest son will be put in their place. The Egyptians took his youngest son by force from his mother and put him into the building in place of the brick which his father had left wanting. And the taskmasters prevailed over Israel, that the Israelis should place their children in the building, so that a man placed his son in the wall and put mortar over him, whilst his eyes wept over him. His tears ran down upon the child. The taskmasters of Israel did so to the children, the babes of Israel, for many days. No one pitied or had compassion over the babes of the children of Israel. The number of all the children killed in the building was 270. This is the book of Jasher. So you take your child, you take your son because you're short. You didn't do your quota. And then you put them in and you plaster them in. Why do you do that? So that your wife, your children, your other children can live. And though the fathers don't want to do that, they're crying, they're weeping, but that's what happened. Wow, pretty heavy. Let's push this a little further. Also from the book of Jasher, Pharaoh became ill, a type of leprosy. And his wise men and sorcerers said unto him that if the blood of little children were put into the wounds, he would be healed. And Pharaoh's ministers went and took infants of the children of Israel from the bosoms of their mothers by force. They brought them to the Pharaoh daily, a child each day, and the physicians killed them and applied them to the plague. Thus they did all the days, and the number of children which Pharaoh slew was 375. This almost seems to be a common thread of history, that if you need something, you go out and kill a baby for it. There was a duchess, a Hungarian duchess in the 16th century named Elizabeth Bathory. Okay, you can look her up. She was beautiful. She married this baron. He was away with the wars. He eventually got killed. But she was bored. So she got into the occult. She was, after he died, she realized she was 43. She wanted to get married again. She beat one of her servants who had blood on her, and she wiped her arm inadvertently, found out it helped her. She thought it helped her skin, make her look younger. So she went over the course of years and killed and murdered 600 young virgins, took them up to her castle, slew them, bathed in their blood. Now, modern historians will have conjecture on that. They will say yes or no, she only did 60. Whatever is. The point is, some people think the blood of virgins will save them. Not only that, but you need to go to the Constitution Mobile online. Knowledge is power. Know your rights. Know your Constitution. And stop eating foods with aborted human fetal tissue. We're taking some of this aborted human fetal tissue and putting it into your foods. I have a list of foods, your common foods you would understand and know and consume. I'm not going to share it. You go online and you look it up. I personally have stopped eating these foods. No big deal. There's a lot of other food out there. But the very fact that some people want you to cannibalize, that some people believe in cannibalization, that some people believe in this, is paganism. It's disconcerting. And that it should be here in America is neglect on the part of Americans. Now, if you have someone totally in your power, their children, their families, their labor, their bodies, you beat them. What about their wives and their children, their daughters, your mother, your sisters? They're not safe either. From the book of Jasher. He, Moses, saw an Egyptian smiting one of his Hebrew brethren. And when the man was beaten, saw Moses, he ran to him for help. For the man, Moses, was greatly respected in the house of Pharaoh. And he said unto him, My Lord, attend to me. This man came into my house in the night, bound me, and came to my wife in my presence. And now he seeks to take my life away. You don't own anything. Anytime they want something, they can take it. How different are we of that in America today? In our next section, hopefully we'll finish up Exodus. Thank you very much. Subscribe. I need comments. Thank you.